Utopia Sprawl. Hello, my friends, it's Johnaroth, and boy, do I have a deck for you today. Today, we are playing with Aang, Swift Savior. My viewer, Top Vince, was messaging me even before Avatar came out and asked if I would look into building Aang, Swift Savior. Reached out to me several times, and I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled my promise to Top Vince to make this deck. After the reveal came out, before the set came out, I even started thinking about it for him. So this is for Top Vince. Aang Swift Savior is a 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue for a 2/3 flash flying, which means that you can cast it at any point with flash. And when Aang enters, air bend up to 1 other target creature or spell, and you can water bend 8 to transform Aang. So basically you can cast Aang and take whatever spell they're casting or a creature that they have on the battlefield, whatever, and move it off. And basically they're going to have to recast it for 2 mana again. You could also water bend, which basically means pay 8 from a variety of sources to transform Aang into Aang and La Ocean's Fury, which is a reach, trample, 5/5, and whenever Aang and La attack, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control. This build is designed to annoy your opponents. I will tell you that. This is almost all counter spells, removal, board wipe. There are almost no creatures in this deck at all. It's literally countering everything your opponent does, removing everything that they have. And I know you're asking me, well, Johnaroth, how do you actually win the game if your opponents stick around? Well, we do have several ways of winning this game. We have multiple planeswalkers in this deck that can make an army for you, such as the Wandering Emperor, Elspeth Stormslayer, the Eternal Wanderer, etc. And we do have one big creature in here that can easily win some games for you, which is Hullbreaker Horror. But this deck is designed to annoy your opponents to victory. I will say that for this build. And there are some seriously intense games going on here. So let us take Aang, Swift Savior, into the queue and see if we can annoy our opponents for victory. Let's go. Okay, our very first game is against Toph, Greatest Earthbender. This hand is, I mean, it's okay. It's not awesome. It's not horrible. I don't know. I'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and try this. Toph is a 2 colorless, 1 green, 1 red for a 3/3, and when it enters, it earth bends X, depending on the mana cost. So basically, takes lands, turns them into, I'm going to just go ahead and put down an island here, turns them into creatures, and land creatures you control have double strike. So kind of scary. Okay, opponent. We got some expensive cards here. Let's go ahead and put down a land, pass the turn. Opponent has a Brood Astronomer. I'm going to go ahead and counter that. Don't want him getting any more land advantage than he already has. He's still got enough to Farseek. Perfectly fine. Let's crack our Flooded Strand here. I'm going to go for a Meticulous Archive, Surveil. What I'm really looking for, Mana Tithe is not bad, but I don't know if we'll really get a lot of use out of that. Let's go ahead and put down a Cavern of Souls here, and we're going to say human. Not that it really matters against red and green, to be honest with you, but that's perfectly fine. Opponent's going to try to cast Nissa, who shakes the world. We're going to say no to that one. Let's mana leak that. One's going to hit us for 2. Gonna put down a land. We're going to pass the turn here. Opponent is very carefully tapping here. Gonna try to cast Toph. We're gonna respond by casting our commander, Aang. And we're going to airbend that. Opponent's going to try to cast his commander again. We're going to ephemerate Aang here. We're going to airbend his commander again. Let's rebound this, and we're going to airbend his Fanatic of Ronus here. Back. Let's go ahead and cast the Worn Power Stone here. Get some more mana. Opponent's going to try to cast his commander. We're going to counter that. Wash away. Do we have enough mana for Shadow of the Sun? We may. Yes, we do. Go ahead and cast Shadow of the Sun. I'm going to untap here. Pass the turn. Keeping up all of our really annoying counter spells. Opponent's very carefully tapping here. Going to counter Toph again. Just making sure he cannot do basically anything. Oh, we have a Hole Breaker. That's kind of cool. Let's cast Stock Up right now. And I'm going to take the Time Warp as well as the land. We do need land. Put down a land here. Pass the turn. No attacks. Draw another land. And this next turn is when we're going to really do some cool stuff. Let's see what happens here. We've got our Hole Breaker Horror here. Opponent is going to try to cast Spring Heart on the Fanatic. Actually, I think we're going to let him do that. Even though that's not good, because he can create duplicates. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cast the Hole Breaker Horror. Then we're going to cast Time Warp on our turn. Has an Awakener Druid. It's going to create a 4/5 Tree Folk. I really like our opponent's deck. It's pretty cool. Ash, I'll commend you for that. Let's get out our Hole Breaker Horror here. Let's put down a land. Let's go ahead and cast Time Warp. And yeah, this is where the game is basically over. We're going to bounce and destroy everything he has on the battlefield. And then we're going to take another turn with a 7/8 that can swing in. I do kind of feel bad for our opponent with this. Ash, I really like your Earthbending deck. It was really cool. Good game. Game is against the Wandering Minstrel. This hand is very slow. I'm going to mulligan here. This hand is a little bit better because of the Esper Sentinel. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Wandering Minstrel is a 1/3, and at the beginning of combat, if you control 5 or more towns, you create a 2/2 elemental. Go ahead and get out our marsh flats here. I'm going to go for a hollowed fountain. Let's get out our Esper Sentinel. It's a shame that our opponent is doing this now. If we waited till our turn, we could have gotten like a stifle on the land, but that's okay. Opponent's going to swing in and attack. We are not going to block. Okay, opponent's going to get out his Wandering Minstrel. I'm really hoping for a board wipe here at some point. We can stifle this land, which is pretty good. This will slow down our opponent a little bit. Let's go ahead and get out our port town, revealing a plane. Let's cast Arcane Signet here. Just kind of preparing ourselves. Opponent's going to surveil. Go ahead and send 6 back here if we can. What we really need is a board wipe of some sort. Okay, opponent gets out 6 again. Drew another land. Let's go ahead and get the Temple of Enlightenment down. Let's scry a little bit here. We really don't need any more mana. Let's go ahead and cast Stock Up. Look at our cards. Okay, now we have some cards that can do some things here. Let's go ahead and get the Eternal Wanderer and Bribery here. I'm not going to attack. Hopefully our opponent will get out a ton of stuff. It's going to surveil again. I'm hoping he uses his mana to cast some sort of big creature. Opponent's going to swing in with 6. We'll go ahead and block with Aang. Come on, opponent, cast some creatures. Opponent's going to go for a Dryad. Good choice. Gets out an additional land. Okay. Let's see. Let's get out our Eternal Wanderer here. And I'm going to use her ultimate ability. We're going to let Aang stay on the battlefield, and I'll let him keep an Elvish Mystic. I'm not going to attack. This will be our first chance to try another new card that we have called Bribery. I'm hoping he has some sort of super huge creature in his deck that we can steal. We'll see. Okay, our opponent's going to pillage the bog here. He put a card in his hand. Well, this can't be good. He's going to search for a instant. Okay. Using all 5 colors. That can't be good. Wonder what he'll choose. Splendid Reclamation. Return all lands. Yikes. That's scary. There's probably a lot of lands in his graveyard. I'm not gonna look. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so he managed to get like 6 or 7 lands out of that. That's pretty good. So, first things first, I think we are going to create a samurai. Let's see what our opponent has in his deck. See if we can find something good. So he has a lot of low-level creatures. Primeval Titan or Lumra are probably our 2 best bets. Let's go for Primeval Titan. She'll get us some more lands. I'm gonna go for... let's go for the Surveil land and... a Glacial Fortress. We're going to swing in, hit our opponent for 2. Your opponent's going to cast Dark Ritual. Going for Diabolic Intent. We've got to start doing some serious damage to our opponent here, or we're going to be in trouble. Wonder if he's going for some sort of removal spell or... let's see. Opponent's going to get out his commander. As well as Lumra. He got most of his lands though, so I'm not too concerned about Lumra, quite honestly. How much damage could we do to our opponent if we zap Lumra? We could zap Lumra, bounce the Wandering Minstrel. I think what we do first is let's go ahead and get our own Lumra on the battlefield. We're going to make our own Lumra here. Okay, we didn't get as much land as I would have liked, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and exile the Minstrel. Then let's go ahead and cast Jace here. Does our opponent have a way of stopping Jace? He might. No, he does not. Now I'm going to go ahead and bounce Lumra. We'll get some more lands on the battlefield. Opponent's down to 6. Opponent's down to 5. This is the turn that either makes or breaks our opponent. This is a very intense game right now. He could summon Lumra again, but we do have a way of removing Lumra for a turn. Going to return a creature card from the graveyard to his hand. Going to get a Dryad. Yeah, and there's not enough that he can do. That was a crazy game of Magic. We basically took our opponent's deck and turned it against him by using his own creatures. Did I have fun? Yes, I did. Good game. Our next game is against Aang at the Crossroads. We have no white mana at all. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand is pretty slow, actually, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I have seen several decks recently where it's like Aang at the Crossroads, where basically you get him out and then you just get a bunch of clones, essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. We'll try it. Let's put down the Arid Mesa here, and I'm gonna crack it now to get the Surveil land. Supreme Verdict. That's pretty good. Against that can be like our last resort against Aang if he has a huge army of creatures. Turn 2, we'll go for Arcane Signet, keeping up a spell snare. Turn 3, we've got enough land for Aang if need be. Pretty decent hand. Opponent gets a forest. It's going to cast Utopia Sprawl. He's eyeing his land. Let's see if this is another John Collett move. Utopia Sprawl. I think I play too much Magic. All right, let's go ahead and get out an Arcane Signet here. where he's going to try to cast Dock or Lock. We're going to counter that. I think this might actually be like a genuine Aang build instead of the sad. We'll just let the land come into play tapped. The sad clone deck. I'll give my opponent kudos for that. Opponent's going to surveil land here. I'm really just trying to get to a point where we can cast the Eternal Wanderer. Let's go ahead and get out a Renegade here, and we're just going to pass the turn. Need one more land. Opponent's worried because of Aang. I don't blame them. Got a split up, so we really didn't get anything. We are ready though to wipe the board. We've got the board covered. That is for sure. Opponent's going to cast an Ignoble Hierarch. Really just hoping for a land here more than anything else. Opponent is going to create a Phyrexian Metamorph for that as well. Okay, we did get the land. Do we risk getting out the Eternal Wanderer? I think we do. We were successful on that. Let's go ahead and make a token here as a blocker.
The edge of your blade.
Eternal Wanderer is a very strong planeswalker. I'm hoping our opponent doesn't have a way of getting rid of it. Okay, opponent has a Badger Mole. It's going to Earthbind a land here. We're definitely going to wipe the board. I know that for sure. On our turn. Opponent's going to go for Aang. What's he going to get back? That Dock card, probably. Oh, the Vocalist. Okay. Opponent has a huge board and threat. I think our opponent's trying to figure out if there's a way he can get through to the Eternal Wanderer. Opponent's thinking here. Opponent's going to convoke 4. It's going to get a Restoration Angel to get the Aang and the Badger Mole back onto the battlefield. Okay. Aang's going to get another creature. Oh, he's going to Earthbend twice. Very cool. Aang's going to go for 2 things here. Okay, he's going to go for another Restoration Angel. Wow, this opponent had a combo deck as well. It's interesting. We're just going to make a ton of Restoration Angels, I guess. At this point, just FYI, I am going to let this game play out because I think we can win, but I am going to cut to the end of this because I don't want to waste your time watching this guy get like this ridiculous long combo in here. Okay, maybe he's out of Restoration Angels, I hope. Okay, our opponent did get some other creatures, so never mind. Opponent has a huge board. Opponent's got to transform all of this, but that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and wipe the board here. Wrath of God. Opponent's down to 3 lands at this point. Now he will get some of his mana back, but I'm okay with that. Now let's go ahead and create a samurai token. It's kind of an interesting combo. He wants to transform all these, but they're all dead, so he can't do that. Opponent's going to go for Aang again. Airbend. Okay, he's going to airbend Aang. Perfectly fine. Do we let that Aang stay on the battlefield? Let's go ahead and swing in with our samurai token. Eternal Wanderer is really putting in work for us here. I don't think our opponent knows what to do with that. I'm just going to go ahead and cast Split Up here. And we'll destroy all untapped creatures, getting rid of that Aang. And let's just create another samurai. We're just going to wear this board down until we've destroyed him. Opponent gets out a Katara the Fearless. It's going to get some more creatures on the battlefield. He's got another Aang. Gets a Witch Enchanter. Opponent's really going through his whole deck here. Gets out Aang as well. Perfectly fine. Gonna get rid of one of the samurai tokens. It's gonna bounce it back. Very interesting deck, I will say that. I think he can bounce some stuff here. Interesting. Man. It's definitely a crazy build. I will give him credit for that, but I don't know. To me, it's just kind of boring. Like, I would be kind of bored playing this, to be honest with you. But that's just me. Need more power if you want to do that. This may be another part where I fast forward through, potentially. Okay, are you done? put down a land. Let's just go ahead and zap the board again. Let's get out another token.
I brought backup.
Gotta start running out of stuff here. You chose Scry too? You could have bounced guitar. Okay. You out of creatures? You might be. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. Sacrifices. Okay. Mm-hmm. What do we let him keep? I think we let him keep the Charming Prince. Mm-hmm. That's enough. All right. Let's let him keep the bird.
Room.
And let's cast Shadow of the Second Sun to redo our mana. We're going to end the turn. Let's go ahead and bounce Katara. Okay, he's going to go ahead and get another clone here. Okay, he was unsuccessful with that one. I think we can win this game, quite honestly. You're going to bounce him again? I mean, we're just trying to get our opponent to exhaust every single thing that he has in his deck, essentially. Okay, let's go ahead and create a samurai. Then let's cast Time Warp here. We'll pass the turn. It untaps. We get another land. And let's transform Aang. We're going to create another samurai. We're going to exile Aang here again. So he no longer has that. Let's swing in with both of these. And then I'm going to cast Rhystic Study to make his spells more expensive. And I think we've got our opponent here. We'll see. This is one of the craziest games of Magic I have ever played. Are you going to let me draw a card? Okay, I think this is where we're going to get our opponent to scoop. We're going to Mana Leak Aang here. And that is enough. The Clone Wars are finally over. Oh my gosh. That was a game of Magic. That's for sure. Good game, opponent. Thank you, my friends, for watching another one of my videos. This one featuring Aang, Swift Savior. Aang is powerful. Aang is probably about a B power level. There's a couple different ways you could build a deck around this commander. There's a really great YouTuber. His name's MTG Josh. If you haven't checked him out, I would. He made a build of this that's focused on the bounce effect and kind of being strategic in his creation from that perspective. My build is more focused on annoying your opponents to death, basically countering everything they do, wiping the board with everything they do. And if you do find this type of build appealing, you will win a lot with this deck. I tend to be more of a mono black Dimir type player more than anything else, but I can build a good counter spell deck just as much as anyone else. So I did want to do this for my viewer, and if you're interested in it, you know, I recommend checking out the deck list. Speaking of which, the deck list is down below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave a comment down below talking about Aang or another avatar commander you'd like me to look into, or why coffee really heals everything wrong in the world. I don't really care as long as I talk to you, part of the Magic community. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.